Solving quadratic equation using C program. First include the header files. Our main function starts here. Then we declare the variables as float so that it can take decimal values. A, B, C, disk, img, image, R1 and R2 are the variables. CLR SCR function is used to clear the output screen. The form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b and c are the coefficients. Then we ask to enter the coefficients of quadratic equation, which are stored in a, b and c respectively. As we know that for a quadratic equation, a should not be equal to 0. If a is 0, then it becomes a linear equation, and that cannot be said to be a quadratic equation, so that it cannot be solved in this method. So first we have to check the condition whether a is equal to 0 or not. For that we used a simple if statement. If a is equal to 0, then if the condition is true, then it enters to the if block. There it displays not a quadratic equation. Then we can see there a get ch. Get ch is used here because we want to see the message not a quadratic equation as we wish. As it is not a quadratic equation, we can terminate the whole program. For that we used exit 0, the function exit 0, which is defined in the standard library .h. Now we can compile and run the program so that you can see the output screen. Here I gave the inputs 0, 1 and 2, so it displayed as a not a quadratic equation. If it is a quadratic equation, then we can find out the solution using the equations given, that x1 and x2. We have to evaluate b square minus 4ac first, and that is stored in the variable disk. Now we can check the discriminant, that is disk, whether it is 0, greater than 0 or less than 0. If it is 0, the equation is minus b by 2 into a. To check these various conditions, we used if-else ladder. For all conditions, we have to evaluate minus b upon 2 into a, and it is stored in R1. But for discriminant greater than 0 or discriminant less than 0, we have to add R1 with square root of discriminant. So that we have to take the square root of discriminant. To find square root, we use the function sqrt, which is defined in the math.h. In the if-else ladder, the first if statement checks the condition whether the disk is equal to 0. Then it evaluates R1 and that value is printed. If the condition is false, then it checks the next else if condition, that is disk greater than 0. If the disk is greater than 0, then R1 and R2 is evaluated, and that is printed in the following statement. If both the condition are wrong, then definitely it enter the last else block. Here the discriminant is less than 0, that is negative value. So we cannot take the square root of this negative value. So what we have to do is we have to make it positive. To make it positive, I multiplied that disk into minus 1 and stored in the disk itself. So now disk is replaced with a positive value. Let's take an example. Before executing the statement disk is equal to minus 1 into disk, let the value be minus 4. So when it is multiplied with minus 1, it becomes 4. It is shown in red color. We can take only square root of positive value. Here the roots are imaginary, so we have to print with an I in the imaginary part. In the case of disk less than 0 or greater than 0, there are two roots. So only difference is that you have to place a minus in the second root between R1 and the square root of disk. Now our program is finished. Let us compile and run the program so that we can see the output screen and just enter the numbers. I entered 1, 4, 4. The discriminant is 0, therefore only one root, and that is minus 2. Again run and check for other values. Here I entered 1, 3, minus 10. So the discriminant is greater than 0 and there are two roots, 2 and minus 5. Finally, last values 1, 3 and 5. The roots are less than 0, therefore it is imaginary. Minus 1.5 plus 1.65 into I, and root 2 is with a difference in the minus. Now I made a small change in my program. I add 2.2 before before f. You can see the change in output. Only the decimal values has 2 place values. Otherwise we got 6 place values. The difference is shown above. I hope this video is interesting for you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.